Hello and welcome to Sports Update. We'll be looking at the latest sports from around the region and beyond. I'm Lucas Lawrence.
We'll also look at college basketball across the nation and check out the latest happenings in all pro sports. I'm Courtney Wolfram, and this is Sports Update on AUTV.
Well, it's been another exciting week of sports. I say that every week that it's been exciting, but it's because it is. It's sports. It's never boring.
Yeah, sports is always exciting to watch.
Absolutely. The Evangel men's basketball team saw its season come to a close Monday night with a 90-51 loss at Graceland in the first round of the Hart postseason basketball tournament. The Crusaders struggled offensively Monday, leading only at 2-0 to start the game. The Yellow Jackets pull ahead and led the rest of the way, taking a 47-25 advantage at halftime. Senior Dylan Beckemeyer led Evangel again with 19 points and 2 assists. Marcus Miller was the only other Crusader in double figures with 14 points and 6 rebounds. Evangel finishes its season 8-23 overall.
The Crusader women's basketball team ended their season last Tuesday night with a loss against Grandview in the first round of the Heart of America tournament with a score of 79-69. The Vikings shot over 50% from the field to shut down Evangel as the Crusaders tried to come back from a 19-point deficit. Sydney Garrett led Evangel with 18 points and 5 rebounds, and she was a perfect 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Sophomore Kylie Moore and junior Mackenzie Farmer each finished in double figures in the loss. Evangel finished the season 5-24 overall. It was definitely hard for the women's basketball team to really pick it up and to get good momentum this season due to injuries and all that. But I'm really excited for where they could go next year with players coming back and not having that many graduate. So.
Yeah, and it's been a really tough year for the men too. 8-24, it's been a rough season, but I think that the team will be able to pull together next season, and I think surely we'll see quite a bit of improvement.
Yeah, I think if the defense can be cleaned up on both the men's and women's side, I feel like they have an opportunity to do really well next year.
So let's go ahead and toss it over to Abby for our Player of the Week. Abby?
Thanks, Lucas. This week's Player of the Week is Evangel Baseball outfielder Dylan Bradshaw. Dylan is a junior majoring in management. So far this season, he has 6 RBIs and a .268 batting average. He has scored a total of 9 runs. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Abby. The Crusaders softball team split their 2 games against Williams Baptist on Saturday, with the first game score being 8-3 in favor of the Eagles and the second game score being 7-4 in favor of the Crusaders. In the first game, Williams Baptist came out swinging and recorded 13 hits in the game. Senior Taylor Kister pitched 5 innings and was charged with all of the Eagles' runs. The Eagles' ability to put the bat on the ball proved to be too much for the Crusaders in the first game. The second game held a different story as the Crusaders were consistent in their scoring 2 runs in the second, 5th, and 6th innings, adding to their first run in the bottom of the first inning. Freshman Abby Emmett recorded her first collegiate win to make her record 1-3 with her performance in the complete game. The Crusaders game against Missouri Baptist has been postponed to a later date.
Evangel's baseball team lost 3 of its last 4 games at home over the weekend, all to the University of Jamestown. The Crusaders had a tough time offensively, only being able to score a total of 15 runs out of the 4 games against Jamestown's total of 33. So far this season, Evangel University baseball holds an 8-9 record with a team batting average of .257. Next, Evangel is scheduled to take on the Bobcats of College of the Ozarks. Like I always say, I'm really happy that baseball season is back, and I expect great things from both our softball and baseball teams this season.
I'm really excited for this year to already have been to softball games and seeing how they're doing, and I can't wait to see where the baseball team goes as well.
Coming up next, we'll be interviewing Brett Bartlett, sports representative for Scott Hall.
We'll be right back.
What are you, superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm here with Brett Bartlett, the sports representative for Scott Hall. Thanks for being on the show today, Brett.
Good to be here, Lucas.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. What exactly do you do as a sports rep?
Well, a little bit about myself. I was raised in a small town. I've been a pastor's kid, so I've been moving around the country a lot and decided to come to Evangel. What I do as a rep for Scott Hall is we'd like to plan events like between all the halls for campus-wide activities. So we have monthly meetings with Eric Osner, who's our director, and from there we kind of split that off and take it to each individual hall council meeting, and from there we plan anything sporty for Evangel.
Very cool. And now you said you're the rep for Scott Hall.
Right.
Are there other members of your team? Are you on a team that kind of coordinates all of this, or are you a one-man crew?
Yeah, there's, as far as like sports representatives go, we have a floor representative for each respective floor in Scott. Then we have our president, we've got a secretary, treasurer, historian, and then we've got like PR. So it's kind of like any normal job group, I guess, but it's just everybody's got their own job, and I think we handle things pretty well, but you know, it's up for debate sometimes.
Very good. So what is your year and your major?
I am a senior by credit, but I'm a junior by year, and then I'm double majoring in computer science and computer information systems since I've been here. So, yeah.
Gotcha. So you can do it all. You've got computers, you've got sports, you've got it.
I try.
Very good. So what can we expect coming up next for sports for the halls on campus?
As of right now, we're actually in the middle of playoffs for intramural basketball. That ends this Thursday, I believe. So if you want to go out, support your floor, support your hall, now's the great time to do it. As far as upcoming sporting events, I believe volleyball's up next for intramural sports. We'll be going over that in our next monthly meeting, which is sometime this week, I believe, actually. So, yeah, just keep posted, talk to your floor reps, talk to hall reps, figure it out, and try to make Evangel, competitive, but in a good way.
Is there an intramural team that you expect to take away the championship for basketball?
I've not been able to watch a lot of like A or like the women's league for basketball, but I think my team's got a solid chance in B League, and I think tonight's game is going to be the actual deciding factor. I've not seen who's on the other side of the bracket, but it'll be a good competition because we've already got past the first round of preliminaries, so it's getting to where all the teams that are there for a reason are actually playing. So it's just, yeah.
So what would you say is the best way for people to get involved in sports on campus?
Just ask around. Your floor reps are there for a reason. It's a door to knock on because most of the people don't know where I live in Scott, or even the reps in like Krause, Lewis, Burgess, Walther. There's always a chance to get plugged in, and all it takes is just, just a little an interest is what it is. So it's just, yeah.
Gotcha. Now, I'm a commuter. What can commuters do? Is there a rep for commuters as far as sports go, or what can they do to get involved?
There is a rep, I believe it's Nolan. For commuters, you should know who that is if I remember correctly, but yeah, you go through him, and I believe there's actually special cases where commuters can actually be on a floor team. They've had to have lived on that floor previous, but as long as they're approved by Eric, then commuters can play on floors, and if not, they actually have a commuter team. So there's chances for commuters and dorm members alike.
Gotcha, very good. So what has been like the message or central theme for the Hall as they participate in activities?
The main thing we try to stress is unity, because at the end of the day, any sport that you play is always a team sport. That's also a really big theme for Evangel as a whole, I feel, because that's kind of what we're building here, is not only a faith in Christ, but as like just a general relationship with others is kind of what we're shooting for here.
Very good. Is there anything that have you seen any kind of growth in that over the past time that you've been sports rep, or do you see other things that need work, and how do you go about that?
I think this past year's been really good. Competition's been pretty healthy in the past year or two that I've seen or been a part of intramural sports. It's got heated at a couple times. That still happens, but it's super rare now. A lot of the guys don't come in with like a chip on their shoulder anymore or anything like that. And most of the time people are there just to have a good time, and that's what makes intramural sports great.
Gotcha, very good. Well, Brett, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Yep.
Coming up next, Michigan's showdown with Purdue in the Big Ten tournament final, and a rivalry renewed with another Duke-UNC clash. College sports news coming up next on Sports Update. Don't go away.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
The fifth-seeded Michigan Wolverines won the Big Ten Conference Championship with their 75-66 win over the 2-seed Purdue Boilermakers on Sunday at Madison Square Garden. The Wolverines have won 9 straight overall, and at 28-7 have established themselves as number 4 seed at worst on Selection Sunday. This was their second straight Big Ten title. They were led off the bench early by sophomore center John Teske, who scored 12 points in his best outing of the season. The Wolverines' dagger offense seemed to be too much for the Boilermakers, who couldn't keep up with Michigan's playmaking abilities.
Duke will head into the ACC tournament a number 2 seed after coming off one of its biggest wins of the season against North Carolina Saturday night. The 5th-ranked Blue Devils were down 13 points with about 17 minutes left in the second half, and the chances for a comeback looked slim. Number 9 University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill had played well, but the table suddenly turned as Duke got hot from the field. The Blue Devils went on a 14-4 run over the next 4 minutes to bring the margin to 3 points, 46-43. They went on to win 74-64. This was Duke senior Grayson Allen's final game at Cameron Indoor Stadium, which he said was an emotional time. Speaking of the NCAA, let's take a look at our college basketball rankings.
We have Virginia at is first, and Villanova is second. And Virginia has been playing really well in the ACC tournament, so it's not a surprise to see them still remain at number 1. And then other teams like Michigan State, who played well in the Big Ten tournament and all that stuff.
Absolutely. You know, I always look forward to March Madness, but I think this year, I just have a feeling about this year. I think it's going to be really great.
Yeah, I'm really excited for March Madness. Every game is so exciting to watch, and you never know who will win on any given day. The UConn Huskies beat the Tulane Green Wave 82-56 in the AAC tournament opener Sunday night at the Mohegan Sun Arena. The Huskies scored 21 consecutive points in the first half and led by 30 at halftime. UConn is 99-0 in AAC games and 13-0 in the tournament. Katie Lou Samuelson finished with 21 points, and Nafisa Collier had 19 points. The Huskies' defense helped to fuel their fire in the win.
This week in NCAA baseball, the top 17 teams in the top 25 remain unchanged this week after they all posted winning weekends. The Florida Gators produced a perfect 5-0 week, sweeping a midweek series against North Florida and a weekend set against Stony Brook, and remains atop the Baseball America top 25. Coastal Carolina and San Diego State enter the rankings this week. The Chanticleers join the top 25 for the first time this season after starting the year 10-3. The Aztecs are 8-3 and move into the rankings for the first time since they were number 19 on April 23, 2009. Next up, we'll talk professional sports with some NBA and MLS news.
We'll also be taking a look at the current standings in the NBA as we approach playoffs. Stick around.
Did you see anyone's breakfast? Is this your thing?
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt. Oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants. Oops.
You know, the NFL season is over, but that doesn't mean that the craziness of pro sports has to end.
Yeah, for like the NBA and the playoffs coming up soon, I'm really excited to see which teams will come out on top.
I agree.
The Houston Rockets defeated the Boston Celtics for their 15th straight win with the score of 123-120. The Rockets had a late surge in the fourth quarter to help the team improve to 49-13 on the season. The Rockets outscored the Celtics 15-12 when it mattered most. Eric Gordon scored 29 points off the bench, while James Harden had 26 points and 10 assists. The Rockets' fourth quarter defense made a big impact on their win. The Rockets' next game is Tuesday against the Thunder in OKC, while the Celtics played Monday at the Bulls.
The Pacers never trailed on Sunday night in Washington, but the outcome wasn't clear until the final buzzer sounded. Indiana got 33 points from Victor Oladipo and survived a frantic fourth-quarter rally by the Wizards to hold on for a 98-95 win. With the victory, the Pacers moved a half game ahead of Washington for fourth place in the Eastern Conference standings, and just a half game behind third-place Cleveland. The top 4 teams in each conference at the end of the regular season have home court advantage for a best-of-7 series in the first round of the playoffs.
The Toronto Raptors remain first in the East, while the Houston Rockets continue to secure their top spot in the West. DeMar DeRozan scored 19 points in the Raptors' latest win against the Charlotte Hornets on Sunday. The Raptors' ability to play as a team and move the ball well helped them win the game against the Hornets. The Houston Rockets stayed atop of the Western Conference standings with their win against the Celtics. The Rockets are averaging 11.1 points per direct isolation of their players, which is the best in the NBA. And with players like James Harden and Chris Paul continually making plays, the Rockets have become unstoppable as of late.
In Major League Soccer, Jesus Medina scored his MLS debut, Maximiliano Morales had a goal, and New York City FC beat Sporting Kansas City 2-0 on Sunday night in a season opener for both clubs. New York City handed Sporting KC its first home opening defeat since 2009 in front of a crowd of 21,000. Los Angeles FC, in their first ever season, also beat the Seattle Sounders 1-0 on Sunday in the opener for both teams. Tyler Miller, a former backup goalkeeper in Seattle and Los Angeles' first draft pick in the expansion draft, made several key stops, including deflections of shots in the first half and a header by Kristen Roldan midway through the second half. This week in the NHL, the Tampa Bay Lightning are comfortably in first in the Atlantic Division with 94 points and 7 wins out of their last 10 games. Other division leaders are the Washington Capitals in the Metropolitan with 81 points, the Nashville Predators in the Central Division with 93 points, and the Vegas Golden Knights in the Pacific with 89 points. The hottest team this week, the Nashville Predators, who have won 8 games in a row. Not so fortunate are the New York Islanders, who have lost 6 in a row and have only won 2 out of their last 10. Up next, we'll take a look at the upcoming games taking place right here at EU.
We'll be right back.
Millions of loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home. So go to theshelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and adopt already.
You know, Lucas, it's an exciting time for Evangel sports with softball and baseball continuing to happen and golf starting up, as well as the track season coming up soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though basketball's ended, now we've got football over, there's still a lot of things for Evangel sports fans to be able to enjoy.
Yeah, it's really exciting for everything that's going to happen in the future.
So our Sports Update special reporter has our updates on Evangel sports yet to come. Abby?
Thanks, Lucas. There's 3 chances to catch Evangel baseball at home this week. The guys play Tuesday, March 6th at 12 and 2, Friday, March 9th at 12 and 2, and Saturday, March 10th also at 12 and 2. Evangel softball is at Central Methodist on Saturday, March 10th as well. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Abby. You know, finally, I think I'll be able to catch an Evangel home game. I haven't been able to at all so far this season, but finally I think I'll be able to.
Yeah, I'm excited that you will finally be able to see them play.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that's all the time we have today for Sports Update. I'm Lucas Lawrence.
And I'm Courtney Wolfram. Be sure to join us next week as we bring you the latest in sports news. This has been Sports Update on EU TV.